What's going on, my broken army, my awesome army? And welcome back to the vlogs. Yours truly is me, it's TBP. Shout out to Diamond Dallas Page for all my wrestling fans out there. And we are today going to speak about 5 ways that you can tell that your spiritual powers, I don't want to say powers, your spiritual gifts are growing. I chose this topic because I was actually about to do part 2 of Hoodoo Spiritual Protections, and something hit me because you guys showed that video so much love. Thank you so much. And also thank you, Letitia, for your donation. I appreciate you. But you guys showed that video so much love that at first, I'll be honest, I was like, why y'all need this much protection? What y'all doing out in these streets? Y'all need to be nice. But then I'm like, no, the world is crazy. So you can never be overprotected. But then I had a call from a very awesome person who actually needed some measure of protection from themselves because their spiritual gifts were hitting them hard. And a lot of times it can be overwhelming, especially with no training, no one to go to or something like that. So I thought about it. If this person's going through it, how many of you guys are out there going through it? And how many of you guys are wondering if you're, is that politically correct to go anymore? Probably not. Nothing's politically correct anymore. But you may be wondering if you may be losing your grip on reality. And in some cases, that's true. But in other cases, there's a lot of spiritual activity going on, and you are the cause of it because your spiritual gifts are growing. And if you guys run this one up, run them donations, preferably, or if you guys run the likes up, then I got a surprise for you at the end of the video. Don't go fast forwarding, because I can tell. Watch to the end, and I got something for you. But all right, let's dive into it. Number one is the most simple, and it is an increase in spiritual activity around you. And I know you guys are like, no duh, prophet, but seriously, that is the most telling one, because we have to understand, as human beings, we are part spirit and part flesh. So we dwell on both sides. And since we dwell on both sides, we light up that side of things. When we light up the spiritual side, and let me explain how the spiritual world is. It is not just a carbon copy of this world that we live in. It's not like the movie Ghost. They're not just walking around trying to get our attention. No, it is kind of a mirror image, but it is dark and it is hazy. The main things that spirits on that side can see are, they perceive us the way that we perceive them. We see shadow people in flashes out of the corner of our eyes. They see glimpses out of the corner of their eyes. But it's us, okay? And they're walking in a hazy state. They will see things that they were familiar with in life. That's why a lot of places get haunted or draw a lot of spiritual activity, because if you're walking in haze and you see a beacon of light, of course you're going to be drawn to it. When we start to awaken spiritually, our light shines brighter on that side. So they are drawn to us. So one of the first things that you will see when your spiritual gifts start to awaken is more spiritual activity. You will see shadow people. You will see, I like to call them ghost puppies because they're never tall like a human being. They're always like a cat or a puppy, shooting along the floor. You'll see that. Driving along, you may see black dogs darting across in front of you, especially if you're driving at night. But what happens more frequently is you'll see something dart behind you in your rear view mirror. That happens all the time. Anomalies and reflections are one of the main things that you'll see. You'll be awakened to different scents when there's nothing that smells like that in your house, but you'll smell something. And again, some of these can mirror some physical conditions, so of course get yourself checked out. That I can't stress that enough. But that is number one. Number one, more spiritual activity. Number two is probably the most detrimental, but it happens. It generally happens early on in your spiritual journey. And that is you will all of a sudden just take a turn with your life. I don't know if y'all heard that, but the doorknob just shook. I know that's Hoodoo Dog because he's outside the door. He'll hit it with his nose, but it got my attention. And when I say you'll take a turn with your life, you may be a senior in college with 2 credits left, planning your graduation. Then all of a sudden you'll go, I need to start a farm. That's not happening to me. Or you will be, depending on how old you are, you may be 5 days away from retirement, and then you're like, I need to go back to school. Bump this, I need to go back to school. Your life will change dramatically and drastically because a lot of us are not walking in alignment with our true purpose. And when your spiritual gifts start to awaken, in hoodoo, we say life is just one long road from the cradle to the grave. Sometimes we've taken a detour, and your spiritual gifts will reach out, grab the right road, and slam you right back, slam you right into it. And now you walking a whole new road, and a lot of times it gets bumpy. So sometimes you just feeling a little bit off, but you got to be doing something else. So that's number two. Your life takes a drastic turn for no apparent reason. Number three is something that happens a lot, and that is the inability to sustain a relationship. It can be romantic, it can be friendship, it can be with family. And this happens for 2 reasons. One, generally you'll become more empathic, and I hate that word because now everybody's an empath. I remember coming up, folks would say, well, this is my sign, what's your sign? Now I'm an empath. Everybody's a freaking empath now, right? But you will become more empathic, and you can sense like emotions and feelings, and that can be a little off-putting because here's someone who you got this friendship with or this romantic relationship, and now you can feel all of a sudden that the son of a gun can't stand you. You're like, what are you here for? Man, they do borrow money all the time. Stuff like that. Just becoming keenly aware of a person's true intentions and real nature. And it becomes increasingly harder for people to lie to you. And on the outside, you would think that is a blessing. Not all the time. I'll be honest with you. Not all the time, because now you find out that you really do look bad in that outfit. All this time, folks been telling you look good. They're just doing it to make fun of you. You look terrible. And since you really know all this stuff now, it's just hard to kick it with them anymore. It's crazy because at this stage of your spiritual development, it becomes so weird because you're drawn to people, but then you're also repulsed by them at the same time, if that makes sense. You want, and this stage doesn't last, but you tend to want people to be like a house cat. Like, I just want to know you in the house somewhere, hop up in my lap sometimes, and then go on about your business. So that is one thing that definitely happens that'll let you know that your spiritual gifts are awakening. Number four is the one you all were thinking about. Okay, and that is your actual spiritual senses start to sharpen. I've always told you that physical law and spiritual law run parallel. So since they run parallel, excuse me, you have physical sight, then you've got clairvoyance. You've got the sense of smell, clairsentience. You got the sense of hearing, clairaudience. The sense I've never heard anybody taste in spirit, but maybe that's something y'all have. Okay, and with that, your spiritual sight doesn't always have to be you seeing visions. A lot of times it'll manifest in some odd dreams and some odd dreams. And Discord and channel members, check for this post as soon as I get done with this video, because I'm going to tell you guys how to use this dream book or any dream book and actually pick out what it is your dreams are telling you. Okay, but back to the video, guys. You will dream in vivid detail. You will dream, I mean, not just in visual detail, but you will experience entire lifetimes in a dream. You will dream about someone and be extremely in love with them. I mean, feeling actual love for someone, and then you wake up and it's like, dang. The sense of smell, you will smell things out of the blue, like I was telling you before with the spiritual phenomena. You will smell things out of the blue, and you'll just like, what is that? Just your awareness will heighten so that mundane things will actually have a significance. Now, y'all don't go crazy with this one, because y'all already hit me up with thinking that regular stuff is significant. No, we're talking about spiritually. I hang out with Mr. J, and the wind would blow a certain direction, and we look at each other and he's like, that's a bad wind blowing. And to just a lay person, it's just the wind blowing. But to us, there's something about to kick off. You will reach into a bag and pull out whatever it is you needed without even looking at it. You just can feel where your phone is, and boom, there it is. You'll know who's calling but the second before the phone rings. Know what song is about to come on the radio while another song is playing. Things like that will just keep happening. Now, guys, just because you're spiritually in tune does not mean that there's no longer such a thing as coincidence. Coincidence is still a real thing. But when something consistently happens, it is not a coincidence. Okay? So, that is number 4. Number 5. And number 5 is a biggie. As all this stuff is going on, and as you've been lit up on the spiritual side, and these things are drawn to you, energies are drawn to you as well. And we talked in another video about how it can dampen your mood, or you'll feel feelings that aren't yours. Number 5, you'll be drawn to like nature, going outside. You want to be amongst trees. You want to walk through the park. Wintertime gets you down because you feel everything dying around you. You can't wait till the spring, and then you feel reborn. A lot of times you will be drawn to the outside. Take your Zyrtec. Because that'll cleanse you. It'll cleanse you of a lot of that stuff, because a lot of y'all don't take your spiritual baths like you supposed to. That's a good idea for a video. Somebody remind me. But you'll be drawn there as a means of cleansing. So these are some things that I have observed with myself over this 30+ year journey. But also I've spoken to other people who've gone through the same thing. You guys thought I was going to say something about, oh, a spirit reached out to me. Guys, spirits don't reach out to you. Okay? Stop it. That's something that you want to have happen. And you're saying that something is significant, like you see the color yellow and now you assume ocean. Well, listen, guys, and this is off topic. The actual video is finished, but I want to talk to y'all. Spirits do not just randomly reach out to people. These spirits have millions of devotees, initiated priests, and everything who will give them whatever they ask for with the proper protocol. So why would they leapfrog of all them to get to you? No, it doesn't happen that way. It doesn't. Sorry to burst some bubbles. Okay, because, I thought about that because on Reddit, this cat said, plain as day, no, he asked, guys, how do I go about working with Papa Legba and making a pact? And I'm like, dude, American Horror Story got you all messed up. Y'all remember a time when people used to know the difference between, I'm watching a movie, this is fiction, between watching a television show and assuming it's all just that this is real? Man, how in the world did we get here? I don't know. But But I do want to leave y'all with something before I get to the surprise. Guys, I want to close out this video with this. This is probably the actual teaching of the whole thing. All of this stuff that I have taught, that any spiritual worker has taught, you can have all the things that I mentioned in this video, but none of it will be worth a hill of beans if you don't make a decision. I've always said that in any spiritual whatever system, tradition, religion, whatever, mind, body, and spirit have to all be in alignment. You have to be of one mind. Of one mind. It does no good for you to light a green money drawing candle and you're thinking about your bills. Some of y'all almost put out your love drawing candles crying on them so much. That's the wrong energy to feed that with, the wrong ingredient. You need to make a decision on what it is you want to have happen. When people come to me for spell work, no matter what it is, I always ask them, is this what you want? Are you sure? There cannot be any wavering. You have to be intently focused, and everything that you do, say, or think has to be with this goal in mind. You have got to make a decision. There's not one spirit out here, the universe, whomever, that will make a move for you until you have decided that that is the move that you want to have happen. The Creator himself in the book of Luke, chapter 18, I think it was 41. I'm going to look it up. When the blind man was there and was brought before Jesus, the first thing he said was, and what would you have I do unto thee? He asked him, like, dude, what do you want? He was asking him to make a decision. What is it that you want for yourself? We don't know. The blind man might have been sitting there. Let me look this up, because I don't like misquoting the scripture. Let me look this up. 1841, saying, what wilt thou that I shall do unto thee? He's asking him to make a decision. That blind man might have asked initially for, his sight, saying to himself, yeah, when I see Jesus, I'm going to ask him to heal my eyes. But then he might have been thinking, well, I'm making good money out here begging. They're not going to give me money if they know I can see. Or he might have been thinking, dang, what if I get my sight back and I find out that my wife is ugly? I'm trying to be serious. But Jesus, knowing all this, asked him, hey, what wilt thou that I shall do unto thee? What decision have you made? What is it that you will have me do, that you are on board with yourself? Spirit does not like to get moving for you and then you give up. Spirit does not like to get things in motion for you and it's not really what you want. Some of y'all's main spirits out there right now, Big Mama wakes up. Lord, she's not waking up no more, but y'all know what I'm saying. She's looking at the list. All right, well, how we going to bless them today? And Big Mama's like, oh, they want that boyfriend back. And then here come your Uncle Charlie with his knife out, talking about, what? She just asked me to kill him. You can't be back and forth. You got to be of one mind. You got to be of one mind, guys. So it all comes down to a decision. People who have been deathly ill have come back and said, you know what? I decided to live. When you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, you decide, you know what, from here on out, I'm going to be wealthy. You make a firm decision when your mind, body, and spirit are in alignment, then that's when things will start to click and go into motion for you. Y'all, Psalms 19:14 said, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your eyes, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. The words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your eyes. Meaning we are on the same page, great one. We are on the same page. Yes, because listen, the Creator knows what he wants for you. What do you want for yourself? We just got to get on the same page. We have to make a firm decision. I'm going to use the right roots, the right candle, and be in alignment with what it is. I'm not going to back out. If y'all use y'all's energy towards me, I'm going to use it towards myself as well. And I'm going to do the work. Anybody can flick a bic and light a candle, but can you go out there, beat the pavement, and help them put some things in motion for you? Shoot, we almost had church. All right, y'all. Y'all run this one up. Run this one up. And I'm going to do a part 2 to both videos. Part 2 to spiritual protection. Then part 2 to this one. I told you what the signs are that your spiritual gifts are awakening. Part 2 is going to be, now what do we do about it? Because this one ran over. Okay? And I'm going to do it in live format. I'm going to publish the link to the webinar. If this video gets 100 likes, y'all got 24 hours. All right, thank y'all so much. I appreciate you. Y'all heard me ramble and preach a little bit tonight, but I do appreciate you. Y'all are amazing, and I will see you next time. Profit out.